Yeah. Okay. So, Parashat Bo, the three last makot, the beginning of the Exodus itself, the first mitzvot, many different topics. I thought about speaking on Makat Choshech, which is a special Makkah. So when we read the verses, of course, we have a lot of questions. I just mentioned some of the questions. We are not going to answer all of them. Just while reading the verses, what we should notice, and the Mefarshim speak about. Vayomer Hashem el Moshe nete yadcha al hashamayim. Hashem told Moshe to raise his hand on the sky, on the heaven, on the sky, towards the sky. What is special here, different than other makot? Where is the staff?
Because the staff.
Yeah, exactly. Why the hand? Now, why not the staff?
Isn't the word nete related to nete?
Nete is to extend, yeah, to rise the hand towards the sky. But again, yeah, the question is why the hand and not the staff as usual. Usually you use the staff. I think the only makkah that he used in the hands is here. I'm not sure, but I think so. Anyway, Vayi choshech al eretz Mitzrayim. It's going to be darkness upon the land of Egypt. Vayamesh choshech. And these two words are not very clear. Vayamesh, how would you translate Vayamesh? Vayamesh, there are different explanations, but the most famous maybe that it's become tangible. It was strong darkness. It wasn't regular darkness, it was strong. What's the difference between darkness and strong darkness? So everybody knows the legend about not being able to rise from the place, etc. But it's not necessarily the meaning of the word. Now I have a question also. It's related to all of that, but a simple question. The plague of darkness has a very simple solution. Light candles. Why wouldn't they light candles?
I heard the light didn't penetrate the darkness.
What? Why wouldn't it?
I don't know, because it was
magic darkness.
it was, yeah.
It was a magic darkness. So different. What's the difference between this darkness and other darkness? Okay, it's stronger. So now we come to the question.
Maybe it wasn't the darkness. Maybe it was the ability of the eyes to see.
Oh, so they became blind.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to see some that claim that, but just general question. What is darkness? Absence of light. So there wasn't light at all. That would be, I mean, when you say how stronger is the light, the dark is how less light there is. So there's no real darkness, it's just not having light at all. This is the makkah. Okay, so this is a point that we should think about, and that's going to speak about it, the Mefarshim. So Hashem told him to do that, and Moshe is doing Vayet Moshe et yado al hashamayim. So Moshe raises his hand again, so towards the sky. Vayi choshech afela bechol eretz Mitzrayim shloshet yamim. And it become, there are two different words here. It doesn't say darkness, it says darkness and darkness. I don't know how to translate a different way, but choshech is one word to darkness, and afela is other word to darkness. So it wasn't only choshech, it was choshech afela in all the land of Egypt, 3 days. So how long was the plague? 3 days. And then it continues saying, Lo ra'u ish et achiv, ve'lo kamu ish mitachtav shloshet yamim. Nobody saw his brother, and nobody rised from his place 3 days. Is this other 3 days, or the same 3 days? You can say that the second verse only explains the first one. Okay, so it was darkness during 3 days, and during 3 days, these 3 days, they couldn't see each other. Now, what does that mean? They couldn't rise from the places. So again, we are used to the legend. I think I mentioned that once. We are so used to the explanation of Rashi that we automatically read Rashi in the words of the Torah. But the Torah doesn't say that they couldn't get up because the dark was strong. It says they didn't get up from the places. So the Pshat, Ibn Ezra and Rashbam, the grandson of Rashi, both of them say, what does it mean they didn't rise from the places? They couldn't go around. There was no use in going out from the house. Why would you go out in the house if you cannot see anything?
Exactly. What do people do when it's dark? They sleep. Maybe they were
sleeping. So not necessarily they sat in the chair and they couldn't move. No, it just didn't walk around. That's the meaning of. So again, returning to that, ולא קמו איש מתחתיו, שלושת ימים, זה same שלושת ימים, or the other שלושת ימים. אוקיי, so, and then, ולכל בני ישראל היה אור במושבותם. All עם ישראל had light in their places of living. Okay, so the question that we're going to see later, it should have been, what does it mean that it was light? Also in the night? All Am Israel had light when? All the time? All the 6 days or 3 days?
But maybe there's like moon.
So it should have been said, and the whole Bnei Israel didn't have darkness. No, it says they have light. Okay, so some speak about that also. Anyway, these are the verses. Another general, not just comment that what we spoke about on Shabbat. I think that every Makkah is more than just this simple suffering. I mean, they didn't have water to drink. They had a lot of noise because of the fog. It should represent something, some essential challenge of human beings. Right? The Makkah is increasing problems that exist in our life. It's taking something that we have problem with and it's increasing it. It's like spotlighting it. It's a weakness that we have. So in the case of Egypt, Shem did it with all the strengths possible, right? But every Makkah is not just random. Well, we chose frogs, we could have chosen mice. We chose, I don't know, Shechin, it could have been Tzarat. No, it's every Makkah has, of course, its meaning. So the question is, what does it mean having darkness? Well, and I think that generally we can understand darkness. We talked about the galut of Egypt, of lack of da'at, of understanding, of wisdom. So darkness is also reflect some kind of lack of being able to see, meaning to understand the world around you. So it's like the total darkness is total misunderstanding the world around you. Okay, so, but this is the plague. Finally, it's quite understandable. Yeah, okay, so, okay, Lauren and Inter now. Hello, Lauren, we are learning about Makat Choshech, the darkness. Okay, so first with the explanation, I didn't bring Rashi, but everybody knows the explanation of Rashi. Just even let us say something very similar. Just explain a little bit more and speaks about his personal experience. You know, Ibn Ezra say, ולפי דעתי, according to my opinion, כי וימש, before that he brought other explanation. And now he say, according to my opinion, וימש מגזרת ימשש. What is למשש? למשש is when you touch something and with your hands, right? So you can, if you cannot see, you are touching something. So when you are saying about the choshech, vayamesh choshech, meaning that you could touch the choshech in your hands, the darkness in your hands. והנה הטעם שימששו בידם החושך. They could feel with their hands, touch with their hands the darkness, שכל כך יהיה עב, it was so, how do you say עב? Not wide, there's thin, and there is, instead of thin, not
Thick.
fat, what?
Thick?
Thick, yeah. It was so thick that the light of the fire couldn't light, couldn't penetrate, couldn't burn. It's impossible to have light, fire in these conditions. It was so dark that it couldn't burn at all, getting light. Turned
Wouldn't
on.
even ignite, it says.
What?
Wouldn't ignite.
Yeah, it wouldn't start. How do you say
Yeah,
ignite?
Ignite.
ולא הנר, and neither the candle, והעד, and the proof for that, לא ראו איש את אחיו, לא באור היום ולא באור הנרות. The proof is that what the Torah added in the word, if it was darkness, clearly they couldn't see each other. What does it mean, לא ראו איש את אחיו? They couldn't see each other. No, they couldn't see each other, neither with candles. One thing is not having light. The other thing is, why don't you have candles? No, the candles couldn't even be lit, right? ולא באור היום ולא באור הנרות. Not with the light of day, because there wasn't light of day, neither light of candles. And then he says, והנה בים אוקיינוס, in the ocean, יבוא חושך אב, sometimes there is a heavy or thick darkness, שלא יוכל אדם להפריש בין יום ובין לילה. That a person cannot differentiate between day and night. ויעמוד זה לפעמים 5 ימים. Sometimes it can endure for 5 days. That you cannot see between day and night. ואני הייתי שם פעמים רבות. And I personally saw that many times. So Ibn Ezra, a bit about his story of life. Ibn Ezra grew up in Spain. Apparently, he was okay until the age of 40, more or less. And then for some reason, he lost all his properties and he became very poor. And he was obligated to wander around in the world. Every place he arrived, he sold sometimes things that he wrote, songs. If you wanted to write, someone to write a song about you, so you could ask him and he would write a song about you and stuff like that. And he was going around and selling his books. So he had a very, very hard life. The second part of his life was very hard. We don't know exactly where he died. It's amazing so much that he wrote so much. No worries. In these conditions of walking around in the world. Anyway, he said, I personally so many times in the night that it's so hard that you cannot see between day and night. Okay.
But it's only at sea, he said.
What?
He says it was at sea.
Yeah, at the ocean. So
Yeah.
these things happen to be, you can see that there or here. Okay. Okay. So he explain it like in a natural phenomenon. So Ibn Ezra has this tendency to try to explain also miracles in a rational way, that it's not a real unnatural. It's like Rambam, like Ralbag. There is a tendency between the philosophers that sometimes they try to say, no, it's Hashem did that, of course, but he can do in a way that it's not breaking the law of nature, right? You can find, for example, I give just not related to that. When you're talking, for example, about the evolution, some want to the theory of evolution of Darwin. So some say, so it's a proof that God. The fact that they have evolution, so God didn't create the world. And who did the evolution? I mean, God can create the world through evolution. It's not necessarily contradicts the intervention of God, right? The fact that it was developed in this way was a decision of God. How it goes with the verses, it's another question. I'm talking about the fact that something go according to the nature doesn't mean it's not God. We talked about it a lot in Hanukkah, etc. Anyway, here it also says, well, it may be something natural. It can even go for 5 days. Of course, in this case, it was a plague from God that implemented this natural phenomenon in the real life. Something similar, say Ramban, and he had, so how it was tangible? Again, it was very, very, very no light. It's palpable or palpable. Yeah, but how the dark become palpable? If he says that the dark is only absence of light, how it can become palpable, right? How it works physically. I mean, what's the physics behind that? So we have now different explanation to that. So Ramban, the first one, וטעם לא ראוי שתחיל ולא כמה מתחתיו, כי לא היה החושך הזה אפיסת אור השמש. Say, no, this darkness wasn't the lack of the light of sun. שבא שמשם והיה כמו לילה. That the sun went away and it became night. אבל היה חושך אפלה. He explained why the two words returned. I mean, why there are two words. It was dark from kind of אפלה. כלומר, עד עב מאוד שירד מן השמיים. So this is the first explanation, again, natural explanation. Some kind of עד. עד, how do you say, vapor? Vapor. It's some kind of vapor that went out from the sky that made
is mist.
Mist? What is mist?
Like tiny droplets.
No, this is like ערפל. ערפל is mist. It's not אפלה.
Oh, okay.
אפלה is darkness. But he said it's something like that, some kind of a mist, you say, that came down from the sky. כי על כן אמר, נטה ידך על השמיים. That's what he says from, extend your hand towards the sky. Why? To get down this big darkness, because it's not, again, it's not the lack of light, it's something real. It has existence. The existence, it's not darkness, but it's some kind of material that covers the light. So it's become darkness, okay? והיה מכבה כל נר, and it was extinguish any candle. כאשר בכל, now he give another example, he doesn't speak about the ocean, he says about the deep, כל החפירות העמוקות, the deep digging, when you have digging to the heart of the land, of the soil, you cannot light candles there. So I think this is not, over there it's because there's no oxygen, no? What's the
If
reason?
there's no oxygen, how are you surviving there?
So I don't know exactly, but it says that inside the caves, sometimes you cannot light candles. I don't know how it works. So I can think about two things. Or there are some kind of gas, poison gas or something like that, or that there's no oxygen. Then he's speaking about putting inside something without you yourself going down. But it's not because of vapor, or this is a vapor. I don't know exactly what he means. And he says, בכל החפירות העמוקות ובכל מקומות החושך העצום, when there is a very, very strong darkness, the candle cannot exist. וכן העוברים בהרי חושך, and also those who pass through the mountains of darkness. So I don't know exactly, all these mystical things, I don't know exactly how the understanding of the world in the 13th century or 14th century was exactly. But there were people that were going through the mountains, and he says, and over there, the light of the candles cannot survive, and not the fire. ועל כן לא ראוי שתחיל ולא קמו איש מתחתיו. That's the reason they couldn't see each other. במלא כן הם משתמשים בנורות. And because if not, they could have used the candle. וזהו שאמר הכתוב, שלח חושך ויחשיך. So many speaks about this verse. There are several, 2 or 3 psalms when David HaMelech describes the history of Am Yisrael. It's the historical psalms. And also inside this description, he speaks about the plagues. So there is, in this Psalms, Psalms 105, you can read that, it's a long, interesting psalm. He describes the plagues, and he says, he sends the darkness. So what does it mean, he sends the darkness? If the darkness is the absence of light, it doesn't have to send anything, just should avoid sending the light. But it says, send something called darkness. So there is existence to the darkness. So what is this existence? כי היה שילוח חושך, he sent darkness, לא אפיסת אור היום, not only the absence of the light of day. וייתכן שהיה עד אב מאוד מורגש, שהיה בו ממש. So he said, maybe it's this kind of gas, of vapor, that was thick and touchable, you can feel it, that it was palpable, all this word. כדברי רבותינו, כאשר הוא בים אוקיינוס, כעדות רבי אברהם. Like Rabbi Avraham, Rabbi Ben Ezra says that there is in the ocean, this kind of thing. So, according to that, the darkness was some kind of material that created darkness. So the darkness was a material that was creating the darkness, not the darkness itself. Dark what?
Dark matter.
Dark matter. Yes, I thought about that also. The dark matter, but dark matter, it's not absorbing any kind of light. It's a material, right? I think that's the definition. It's a material that did not return the light, so it's absorb everything to itself. It's not the dark holes, which is another thing.
Yeah.
Black holes. Yeah. So the dark material, it doesn't return any kind of light. So he puts this material in. I don't know. Okay, so this is Ramban. We are still going in the rationale. We are still not in Chasidut. It's not all that. It's not symbolic. It's just what happened, right? And again, Ktav HaKabbalah also speaks about what's really happened there, how it became darkness. Because again, it looks like Hashem sent something. It's not that he took the light. He sends the darkness. So what is this darkness that he sent? Milat yehi vayehi choshech. Right? Where it says he, in the beginning it says, ויהי חושך. Yeah, משה נטה ידך על השמיים, ויהי חושך. And it will be dark. Not it won't be light, it will be dark. Okay, so he learned that from the word ויהי. So he says, מילת יהי מורה על הוויה ומציאות דבר מה, of existence of something. ואין זה נופל על חושך הלילה, שהוא היעדר אור לבד. You cannot say that this is the darkness of night, that it's also the absence of light. שמטעם זה לא נזכר הוויה אצל חושך במעשה בראשית. That's the reason, it doesn't say ויהי חושך. It says ויהי אור. ויהי ערב, ויהי בוקר, יום ראשון. ולחושך קרא יום, ולאור קרא יום, ולחושך קרא לילה. He said that Hashem called the day, the light, he called it day, and the darkness, it called it night. But he didn't say that Hashem created the day, the light, and created the darkness. He just created the day. When he took the light, he just created the light. When he took the light, the darkness appears. So he said, darkness, you don't have to create darkness. If you don't have light, you have darkness. Okay? שמטעם זה לא נזכר הוויה, it doesn't say ויהי אצל חושך במעשה בראשית, in the creation of the world. רק החושך הזה היה הפלא ופלא, this חושך, this darkness was a miracle, שלוח מאוצר זעם, it was sent from the treasury of wrath. When Hashem sends a punishment from, Hashem has a treasury, a Warsaw, of wrath, of punishments, and he sent from there things. להעניש בו רשעים. So this darkness was something that had existence, and he was sent to punish the wicked. ונכתב אצלו ויהי. וזה שבאר המשורר, again, this verse again from the Psalms, שלח חושך ויחשיך. So he sent the darkness, and the darkness made dark. So it was something that was making the dark. ולהיעדר לא ייפול מילת שילוח. Something that doesn't exist, you cannot send something that doesn't exist. So you cannot use the word שלח. למדנו, we learned from that, שנשתנה החושך הזה מכל המחשכים הנודעים לנו. That this change, this darkness, is different from any kind of darkness that we know. So this is to exclude the explanation of Rambam and Ibn Ezra. It's not what we see in the ocean or in the caves or whatever. It's something new that Hashem only used in this place. It's not any kind of darkness that we know. והיה משמש כמו אפלה, and he say again, that's the reason that he didn't walk to light candles. שלא אלה להם שמש וירח ונרות להגיע חושקם. It was useless. Again, it doesn't say that Hashem took the sun. It doesn't say that Hashem took the moon. It doesn't say that the candles, they didn't have candles. All these existed, but were useless. לכן אמר אחר כן, ויהי חושך אפלה. הוסיף מילת אפלה, why he add the word אפלה, להודיענו שהחושך הנפלא הזה הייתה בו מידה אפלה, שלא יוקרו בו המראות והגוונים גם בקרוב, גם בקירוב. He had something else. Also when there is darkness, very, very dark place, if you get closer, you would see at least some kind of tones of difference. Also in the total darkness, where something is in front of you, you will see there is something, right? You will see something in front of you because there is, inside the darkness, you can see at least something. And this was total darkness, a real creation, something that was created specially for that. ולא הייתה אם כן חושך מצרים כמו חשכת לילה, שיהיו לו נוגה ונר לעיר, אלא הייתה תבניתה כתבנית האפלה. And now he rejected the explanation, now clearly rejected the explanation of Rambam. He said, ולא שהיה סיבת האפלה עניינים עדים או קיטורים. It wasn't some kind of gas or vapor or something like that. שהפילו בעד אור השמש. So according to Rambam, there was something that was like blocking the light of sun. No, it wasn't something like that. אבל הארץ האירה ביום לאור שמש, ובלילה לאור הירח. He said all the nature was as usual. There was sun in the day, moon in the night, רק למצרים לבדה אפלה לעיניהם הייתה. So it was like Greg said, where the darkness was, in the eyes of the Egyptians. So the world was normal. Everything was normal. What was not normal was something in their eyes that they had the impossibility, right? The lack of possibility to see. ולא העילה הם כלום. And nothing was useful for them, not candles, not sun, etc. וכדרך העיוור או חסר העיניים, the same as a blind or someone that doesn't have night. Now he rejected another explanation. ולא שהוכו בעיוורון וסנוורים. It wasn't that that they became blind, or sanver. The sanver is when you have strong light on inside your eyes. You know what is the sanver?
I thought it was also blindness.
No, the sanver is when you're looking inside the sun or inside the. If you're looking here, put here your eyes, you cannot see because there's too much light. How do you call that when a light is coming in front of you? When you drive in and there's a car in front of you and they have a high light. How do you say?
Blindness.
Blindness by the night.
Blindness.
So there is blindness because you cannot see, and there is blindness because there are too much light. We're going to speak about that later. But say it wasn't that. It wasn't blindness, it wasn't light blindness. אלא עיניהם היו בריאים כמקודם. They had a regular, healthy eyes. אלא, so what was it? It's not the vapor, it's not the blindness, so what was it? אלא שהפליא הקדוש ברוך הוא לעשות, ושלח חושך מאוצר זעמו, וזה החושך פעל פעולת האפלה, כי המציא עניין מה סמוך לעיניהם, so they had like glasses near the eyes that block their sight. שמנע מרשעים אורם. כי היה בו ממש, so that was וימש, how we learned that from the word וימש חושך. What is וימש? We say it's something that you can touch, you can feel. Sure. So they had like coins, we're going to speak about a dinar. Dinar, it's a coin, like coins here, that they couldn't see anything. What is the meaning of that? That's what you're asking, or what? Yeah. כי היה בו ממש ומונע מניצוצהו. So again, it wouldn't be any use to light candles. You can light candles, but you cannot see. Okay, because it's on your eyes. דומה לתבלול שעל עיני העיוור. So there are some kind of people that has like cataract or something on their eyes that blocking them from seeing. ומה שאמרו רבותינו דרך חידה, that was the hint of our sages, that they said, כמה היה אותו החושך, how thick was this darkness, like a dinar. Dinar is a coin. ודיון בזה שהמאורות שימשו כדרכם. Say no, that it was regular light. וכן לא עדים וכיתורים החשיכו את הארץ. It wasn't any kind of material that went down to the earth. אבל שילך הקדוש ברוך הוא חושך והחשיך עיני המצרים. He sent darkness, meaning some kind of material, to blind the eyes of the Egyptians. וזה החושך היה במציאות וממשות דק. And it was a real material, existence. כמו תבלול שעל עיני עיוור, ולכן יכלו לראות מאומה לא לאור היום, לא לאור הנר, והמשילו יו לבנה, כי הדינר הוא היותר דק שבכל המטבעות. Okay, I will skip a little bit. Okay, so this is, until now we have two explanations we can say. Rashi, Ramban, Ibn Ezra, all the classical מפרשים say there was some kind of material that went down, and it's called choshech, and you cannot see through that, and the light, and you couldn't light any candles. So it was in the world around you. While according to Ktav HaKabbalah, it was in the eyes of the people. The reality around you was totally regular. The blind was you. The people, I mean, the Egyptians couldn't see. They couldn't see the reality. So we can say that these two directions is two problems that we have when we are understanding the world. Sometimes the world is really hard to understand. Right? The material around you doesn't let you understand what's going on around you. And sometimes it's you that you are blind. Everything is okay around you, just you prefer or choose to close your eye. In this case, it was a plague, but yeah. So these are two ways to see where's the problem of seeing the world. Why are we in darkness? Because the reality is complicated because we locking ourselves from seeing. So now, until now it was Pshat. Now we are going a little bit with Chasidut, on Chasidut. And recently we saw several times Kedushat Levi, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Barditchev. Did you say that you know where it's Barditchev? How it's called?
Ukraine.
It's a name,
Yeah.
Barditchev.
Mm-hmm.
But when the Hasidim, they are going to Uman, not there. Yeah, it's other place.
Yeah.
But it's a city today also, Barditchev.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it was a famous rabbi from this city, and it's called Rabbi Levi Yitzchak, and he wrote the book Kedushat Levi. So it says, נטה ידך על השמיים ויהי חושך, this is a verse, וימש חושך, ויית משה וכולי, ולכל בני ישראל היה אור במושבותם. And עם ישראל had light in their places of living. ועיין ברש"י שמדקדק על לשון וימש חושך. So look on Rashi that he speaks about what does it mean וימש חושך. וגם יש לדקדק, לדקדק is like to understand good the words. You should also learn the words carefully. It says, that's the question that I mentioned before, שכתוב ולכל בני ישראל היה אור במושבותם. That לכל בני ישראל היה אור. all עם ישראל had light. What does it mean? אבל לומר, he should have said, ולכל בני ישראל לא היה חושך. That they didn't have darkness. What does it mean that they had night? ויבואר על פי המדרש, and it can be explained according to the midrash that says, מהיכן החושך? בחושך של מעל. Where did this darkness come from? It's come from the darkness of the sky, of heaven. So what does it mean? Heaven has darkness? I thought that heaven is everything is good and light and positive. What does it mean that it has darkness? שנאמר, ישת חושך סתרו. There is a verse, other verse in Tehillim that says that Hashem put darkness in his hidden places. Seter is a place where you hide things. So in the secret places of God there is darkness. How come? It's not that Hashem is or is light, is good. Darkness usually we connect with bad and light with good. What does it mean that Hashem hides the darkness? So ויש להבין שהיה החושך של מצרים, and not only that, he used, according to the Midrash, Hashem used his own darkness, his own personal darkness, to punish the Egyptians. מהחושך שכתוב בו, ישת חושך שטרו, שזה רומז על האור הנעלם. He give another hint here. It says, the חושך, the darkness of God, is a hidden light. How come the darkness is a hidden light? A clue what I said before, too much light make you blind. So, yeah, what?
Well, like, whenever you see an image, like now here on your projector,
Yeah.
there's a light source, which is just like a bulb, but the way we see any images that there are some parts of darkness, like there are some parts that are
You
completely
need
dark.
darkness in order to be able to use the light. Yeah, exactly. Or we can say, yeah, but you can say that if you have too much light, you become blind. You cannot support, you need some filter, something that protects you from light. You cannot look on the sun. You cannot look directly inside the projector, right? You need something to filter. So the light of God is so strong that it becomes darkness for other people, for other yeah. So that was what it means that Hashem has to hide his light. He has to hide his light in a way that it becomes darkness so people can use it. But without these blocks, without these filters, the darkness, the light is blocked, is too much, is too strong. And he gave another example for that.
Is it related to Ganuz?
Yeah, this is Or Ganuz. Or הנעלם, Or Ganuz, the same word. Ganuz is hidden, is kept. So the light that Hashem created in the first day, it says that it was too strong for the world, so Hashem had to hide it. What does it mean? It means that it was too strong, it makes you blind. Okay? So we can, again, explain that, also related to what we are going to see. When the presence of God is too strong, you can be hurt. So you cannot enter, for example, for Kodesh HaKodeshim. You can die from that. When it's too heavy, it's too strong. So you must limit your connect with that, or you must elevate yourself in order to be able to connect with that. If you are not in the right level and you are exposed to that, so you can get hurt. Okay.
That's why they used to tie the rope to the leg of Kohen Gadol.
Yeah, they used to take, yeah,
And then
because they may
would
die.
pull out the-
Yeah, so there are many examples for that. That's why, for example, the Ktoret, the incense, was some kind of smoke. So it cannot be seen, everything. It was like Hashem Amar, Shlomo HaMelech in the prayer that when he did the Beit HaMikdash, in the inauguration of Beit HaMikdash, he said, Hashem Amar lishkon ba'arafel. Hashem chose to live. Lishkon is like to live there. Yeah, Mishkan, to live inside the mist, right? So people cannot, because if it's totally clear, you cannot stand the exposure to this strong light. נעלם, disappear or hidden. ונראה להבין we can understand that. So he gave another example for that. He gives another example for that. ונראה להבין על פי הגמרא, נתן עיניו בו ונעשה גל של עצמות. He put his eyes on him and he make him
Mountain of bones.
mountain of bones. Do you remember what he speaks about?
Isn't it Yaakov and
Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai.
um,
It says that when he went out from the cave, he was
Okay,
so
burned
holy. Yeah, everybody that he looked on it was burnt. He doesn't say burnt, he say became bones. Like while looking on it, it was totally destroyed. What does it mean? So he asked, "מה זה הלשון נתן עיניו?" What does it mean that he put his eyes on him? נתן, he put his eyes, or he gave his eyes on him. וגם יש להבין, הלוא אנוש לצדיק לא טוב. Also, you should understand, why did he do that? Why Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, or his son, after that, they returned to the cave, and then they went out again, and then the son was doing that, Rabbi Eliezer.
Chazal.
Rabbi Elazar. Yeah, so he said, הלוא אנוש לצדיק לא טוב. A tzaddik, a righteous person, doesn't punish. אנוש לצדיק, punishment for tzaddik, I mean, when tzaddik would punish, it's not good. אנוש לצדיק לא טוב. So why did he do that? ונראה, now he explains the idea. והנה, בהירות הבורא ברוך הוא, זה בהיר is clear or brilliant, I would say. The brilliance of God, of Baruch Hu and Sof, it's endless. בהירות הבורא ברוך הוא אין סוף, it's endless. וכשעלה רצונו לברוא עולמו, בגין דהתקרא רחום וכו', when he decided to create the world, he had the obligation צמצם בהירותו, to narrow his brilliance, because it's too much, like I said before. So this is also in the Ari, in the Kabbalah of the Ari, it says about the tzimtzum, about the narrowing the existence of God in order to be able to other things to exist. So God must limit his strength, his endlessness, in order to give space to the creation. So he said, in narrow his brilliance, כפי איכות המקבלים, according to the ability of those who receive the light. המקבלים לעולם, always, because it depends in the level. השרפים כפי מבחינתם, וכן עולם החיות, עולם המלאכים. So it's not only us, also the angels. So there are different levels of angels. We have srafim, there is chayot, animals, but there is the animals that, there are some kind of angels that are called animals. מלאכים and angels, וכן לכל העולמות העליונים. All the superior universes or worlds, all of them, each one of them got the light in the levels that he can accept it. So he had to narrow the light in a way that was appropriate to each level. And in their case, והם תמיד במדרגה אחד. Their case, the angels or the different kinds of angels cannot change level, not for upside, not downside. They're always in the same level. כפי איכות קבלתם ביום עיברם, in the day of their creation. So, כי לא יביט למעלה ממדרגתו, כדי שלא יבטלו ממציאות בהירותו, אין סוף, ולא למטה ממדרגתו. So the angel don't look up of his level, because he would be burned from the light, and he doesn't look downside his level, because he wants to stay in his level, always in his level. So, וזהו הרמז, this is the hint of the verse. So in Isaiah chapter 6, there is a description of the divine court with the angels. And he says that there are angels that have 6 wings. With 2, he covers his face. With 2, he covers his legs. And with 2, he flies. So what does it mean? So he explains here, בשתיים יחסה פניו, with 2, he covers his face, so he won't look up. That's the reason he covers his face. בשתיים יחסה רגליו, with 2, he covers his legs, so he won't look down. He always in the same level. פניו שלא יביט למעלה ויתבטל במציאות. So his face, so he won't look upside and will be eliminated from the existence. רגליו שלא יביט למטה ממדרגתו. So this is for the angels. So the angels get the exact amount of light that they need, and they stay in this level. אבל ישראל, but Israel, it's not like that. על ידי התורה והמצוות עושים לבושים. So this is interesting. When you are doing mitzvah and learning Torah, you are making clothes. you are protecting yourself from the light, meaning you are creating the ability to stand more light. And once you're doing more and more mitzvot, you can be elevated from a level to level, על ידי תורה מיtzvot שיש להם, until so you can stand more and more light. Okay, maybe after all life you will arrive to the level of angels, but the point is you are not in the same level. You're going up and down according to your actions. Yeah, what it's
Madrega is at level.
Madrega is level or scale or step. Yeah, you have madregot, stairs. It's called madrega, stairs. Yeah. והנה הרשעים, the wicked, he speaks here about the Egyptians, שאין להם תורה ומצוות, הם תמיד על מעמד אחד. They are all also in the same level. Not because they don't have the ability to go, they don't have the tools. Right? They're like human beings, they can go down and up, but they don't have the tools because they don't have the mitzvot. הם תמיד על מעמד אחד, וכשרוצים לשבור את הרשעים, when you want to break the wicked, what you have to do, אז מראים להם בהירות העליון. You should show them the superior brilliance. והם שאין להם תורה ומצוות לעשות על ידם לבושים, לעלות ממדרגה למדרגה, וזה המפלה שלהם. So by exposing them to the light, they are broke, they are falling down. Symbolically, I understand all the symbolism. What does it mean practically? How do you expose the wicked to the light to break them down? I think that it's what he's saying here is that when we are making mitzvot, when we are learning Torah, we are creating light in the world, and the wickedness for itself is falling down, disappearing. So it was towards the end of the Egyptians. What you have to do is to bring this light, which is creating dark for them, which is blinding them to the world. Okay, and this is Makat HaChoshech. Okay, let's see, וזהו הרמז בגמרא, נתן עיניו בו, הופיעו עליו, so when it says that Rabbi Shimon put his eyes on him, meaning he appears on him, he sent on him the superior brilliance, or the supreme brilliance, הבהירות העליון. וזה שאינו מדבק עצמו בתורה ומצוות, and the other person that Rabbi Shimon looked at him, that he wasn't connected to the right mitzvot, so he didn't do the clothes to protect himself, לסבול בהירות העליון, השופע עליו הבהירות, ועל ידי זה נעשה גל של עצמות. So being in contact with the tzaddik, it became bones. I think that maybe we can again explain, it's all symbolism. I mean, I always try to understand what does it really mean. I think that many times when a bad person meeting a real holy person, he hates him. He cannot stand it. You can see that people that are anti-religion, they are meeting a person. I knew people, I mean, that they were really so sweet, kind, rabbis, that, and people that met them that are not many times that are far away, and they meet them and say it's become hate. How it's become hate? It's such a sweet person. It's really, it's the holiness come out from him. But if you are so rude, I would say, totally naked from any kind of holiness, this meeting with the holiness creates this distance. It's even make you more far away from Kedusha. So that I'm not sure. That's my feeling about that. But that's what he say anyway, that this contact with the holiness of the tzaddik, of this person that was totally far away from Kedusha, from holiness, it broke him. It make him gal shel atzamot. It make him like
bones.
pile of bones. והוא לשון עשרה, וזה זה נעשה גל של עצמות. ובזה יבואר הפסוק וימש חושך. That's how we can understand the verse of it became dark. כי מילת ימש הוא לשון עשרה. So there is another, until now we understand ימש, like Ibn Ezra say למשש, to touch. But להמיש, ימש, it's also to take away. It's another meaning of the word vayamesh. So what does it mean, vayamesh choshech? It took away the filter. So you expose them to the direct light. It's like exposing someone to laser. Okay, so you know there are spaces in the hospital they have to put clothes on you, or the dentist, right? Because the laser is so strong. So that's what he says, when you're taking off the protection, when you're taking off the filter, this is vayamesh choshech. It took out the darkness, so it was too light, too much light. So according to that, Am Yisrael that was protected, they enjoy the light. The filter, the protection was taken away. But if you are ready for that, you are enjoying that. You are in more light. You have the clothes that you created with the Torah and the mitzvot. And interesting also that says that many of the wicked of Am Israel died in Makat HaChoshech. Why did they die? Because they weren't deserved. Also in Am Israel were people that weren't deserved to this big light. So we can say that Makat HaChoshech was creating the biggest light of all that. So it's the opposite of what we usually understand. The Choshech was created, Hashem sent Choshech, or in this case, took away the Choshech, the filter, and it was so much light that the Egyptian couldn't see anything. And also some of the Jews died from this light. Yeah.
So just to clarify, so Vayamish on the one hand is like to touch, or the
Yeah.
other hand is to take away.
Yeah, it can be under, there are two meanings of this word, depend how you write. So there are roots of words in Hebrew that depends what you add in between. Mem Shin is for sure from the root. The question is what is another letter, because usually we have three letters. Anyway, lehamish, lo yamish sefer HaTorah ze mipicha. You know, remember this verse? It says, lo yamush. This Hashem tells Yoshua, don't take away this sefer of Torah from your mouth all the days of your life. So this is to take away. And from the other side, lemashesh. So according to Ibn Ezra, we should add shin. It's mem shin shin. According to this explanation, it's mem vav shin, the root of the verb. So vayamesh is lehamish or lemashesh. וזהו וימש חושך שיסיר הצמצום כדי להשפיע עליהם בהירות העליון. והם שאין להם התורה והמצוות, זה בעצמו היה להם הפלה שלהם. וזה הרמז לכל בני ישראל, שישראל שיש להם תורה ומצוות, לעשות לבושים לא ממדרגה למדרגה, היה אור במושבותם, היה יותר אור. So for עם ישראל, that did the protection, the clothes, the levushim, right, the dress made by the Torah and the mitzvot, according to that, Am Yisrael already did mitzvot. Usually we say that they didn't start doing mitzvot until the Korban Pesach, right? But according to that, they already had some kind of mitzvot, good deeds, also in the time of Makat HaChoshech. So their mitzvot protected them from the big light of Makat HaChoshech. היה יותר אור. ובזה יובן הגמרא, לעתיד לבוא יוצא הקדוש ברוך הוא מן העתיקה, okay, etc. So it brings another proof to this idea. Okay, do you want another explanation to that? Yeah, so this is interesting explanation. So we have another explanation. He says the choshech may be some kind of material that was come down. It can be something that blocks the sight of the people themselves, or it can be too much light. Too much light that people that are not prepared to that, they cannot stand it. Now we return to the second explanation that I said, but like in a more ethical way of explaining that too, like how do you say, musar. Musar is morality, lesson, personal lesson. וזה נראה לי, so צפנת פענח, another Hasidic book, it says, וזה נראה לי ביאור פסוק פרשת בו, ויהי חושך אפלה בכל ארץ מצרים, לא ראו איש את אחיו. They couldn't see one another, איש את אחיו, his brother, another, right? רצה לומר, it says, according to what the כתב הרמב"ם, the Rambam wrote, כמו חולי הגוף טעם מתוק למר, כך חולי הנפשות וכולי, עיין במקום אחר. It's style of writing, it's very short, with a lot of hints, allusions, not clearly. But it says, there is a very famous Rambam that says, when a person is sick in his soul, it can cause him to see bad as good and good as bad. He says the same as sometimes some ill people, I can say all of us, when we eat bad food, we find it's delicious. He says because you're not healthy. Healthy people, when they eat not healthy food, they feel rejection from that. When you are healthy, you are used to good food, you don't like. I know that there are some children that grew up eating only vegetables and stuff like that, so they don't like the sugar, the too sweet. It's too sweet for them. I know some others that you don't give them sweets, when they grow up, they're only eating sweets because so it's not always working like that. But what I'm trying to say, that when you're not healthy, you consider matok lemar, even though in this case, you consider sweet as good and bitter as bad. We know that bitter is good, right? We say, so those who are not healthy, they are considered the bitter as sweet and the sweet as bitter. Also, those who are sick in their souls, in their minds, in their spirituality, they see the bad things as good thing and good thing as bad thing. You can see in the Western culture, many of those who I don't know, looking the bad as good and good as bad. So this is the sickness of the souls. ושמעתי מישל מוהר"ם מגיד, אם יש ענן וחושך בעיניו, נדמה לו שהוא על חברו. ודברי פי חכם חן. So you say there, for example, when you have problem in your eyes, you see your friends as ugly, or so you think that it's in the problem. So again, if you have some kind of filter on your eyes, we go into the second explanation. Say, wow, this person is very dark. No, it's your eyes. He's very good. You see him because of your eyes, the thing that you have in yourself. וזה שכתוב כי מרים הם. It's another hint. The verse says that they couldn't drink water from Mara. Mara was do you remember the story about they found lake with water or spring with water, but it was bitter. It says ki marim hem, because they were with bitter. Who was bitter? The people. That's what they explained here. So the problem wasn't the water, the problem was them. They were bitter, so they felt the bitterness in the water. But it's really, it's like if you're putting something on your tongue and you eat something, it will have the flavor of the tongue, not the flavor of the thing. Yeah, what's a bad food? No, it's you are the problem. So it says this is also the verse here. מחמת החושך לא ראוי שתחיו. Because of the darkness they couldn't see each other, רצה לומר, החושך שבעיניו, the darkness in your eyes, היה מסך מבדיל. It was like a filter that couldn't let you see what the value of your friend. So many times when we see bad in other people is because we are bad. So you are not able to see the values that your friend have. So you are the problem. שסובר שהוא אחיו. You think about him, what you have in yourself. So this is also very common. Yeah, but very common is that when you see some kind of defect in other people, it's because you have it. Because you know it from yourself, it's easy for you to recognize with other people, right? Because you know it from first hand. Okay, so it says, what does it mean, ולא ראו איש את אחיו? Because you think that you are him. I mean, that what you have in yourself, you think that he has. כמו ששמעתי משל מן זכריה הנביא וכולי, it's it from זכריה הנביא, but it doesn't say what it means, and I couldn't find out. והיינו מחמת שלא קמו איש מתחתיו, ממדרגתו. סובר גם חברו כך. Now another explanation. He said, let's see again the verse. The verse says, ולא ראו איש את אחיו, they didn't see each other, ולא קמו איש מתחתיו, and they didn't get up from their seat. So he said, no, why they couldn't see each other? They couldn't see the good in the other person, because they, ולא קמו איש מתחתיו, you didn't elevate yourself from your lower, תחתיו is the lower part, right? Since you couldn't elevate yourself, you couldn't see your brother. When you stay in your level, so it's again, it's a game of words. Of course, it's not written in the verse, but it's like when you, in order to be able to see the good in other person, you should elevate yourself. When you are more and more elevated, you will see more and more value in the people around you. Like the Mishnah says, "Ezu chacham alomed mikol adam." Who is wise? The one who learns from each person. Now, you can understand this Mishnah in two ways. You can say, when I learn from everybody, so I'm very wise. I become very wise, right? Because I learned from him and then from you, so I became very wise. You can understand that the other way. If you are wise, then you will be open to learn from everybody. Because you are wise, you're learning, not because you learn, you are wise. Okay, so I believe it works two sides. So you're starting from being wise and being able to see the good in other people. And then you learn from them and you become even wiser. Okay, so this is the process. So that's what he says. Because you couldn't get up from your seat, meaning you couldn't elevate yourself, you couldn't see each other. לא ראו איש את אחיו. Okay, we turn to the end here.
Or to like elevate yourself, like you are so learned, like you elevate yourself to see the positive, like,
Yeah, I think that it's generally walking about yourself, being a good person. Being a good person, it's many things. It's between you and yourself, but also between you and other people. You are more tolerant. You try to be positive, to ignore the bad things, and to lelamed zchut. It's meaning that even if you see something bad, you say, no, it can be understood because of that. I mean, you find the positive in others, so you elevate yourself, and then you are able to really see the good things, right? And to learn from other people. סובר, והבאים מלחמת שלא קמו משתתף, זאת מדרגתו סובר גם חברו כך. ובאמת זה אינו, כמו שכתב מורנו הרב רבי חיים ויטל, כי אריסטו הכחיש הנבואה, שסובר אם היו רואים נבואה, מי ראו יותר ממנו וכו'. I don't know about that, but it says, Aristo says there's no really prophecy. So I won't now enter all the philosophy of Aristotle. I don't know all of the philosophy, but generally about Aristoteles, he was like the big enemy. In the Rambam like it very much, but he was real heretic, right? He doesn't say that there's no God, but he said that God doesn't care about us, and that the existence of the world was eternal, like the existence of God, and that the world is the result of the existence of God. Not because God decided to create the world, because it's the natural result of your existence. Like the example for that is the light is a result of the sun, not because the sun was. So what's happened first, the sun or the light? Once you have sun, you have light. Or not, I don't know, but that's what Aristotle says. So he says there's no prophecy, Hashem doesn't speak with you. Now, so he has all these philosophical explanations and philosophy, etc. But Reb Chaim Vital is looking for the real reason. I mean, the psychological reason. Why Aristotle couldn't accept that the possibilities that God will speak with men? Because he say, if God speak with men, who is more than me? For sure he's going to speak with me, right? The fact that God didn't speak with me means that God doesn't exist or doesn't speak with people. Okay? So, because he couldn't elevate himself, he was so arrogant and full of himself, so he couldn't see the possibility of other things. So when you are you are blind by your own weakness, right? So, let's say, ובכוח זה סובר שאין אדם עושה לשם שמיים לדונו לכף זכות. So when a person is so sink into his own wickedness, he wouldn't be able to judge other people for the good. Because again, he only sees the bad, because he himself is bad. באמת הוא חושך שיש בעצמו. And it's really darkness that he has in himself. That's the reason you cannot see the positive in other people. Okay, etc. So he gives a lot of ways to see that from other places. He says, אל תדין את חברך עד שתגיע למקומו. You cannot judge your friends until you arrive to his place. כי ידן חברו לזכות וכולי, יעוין שם. רצה לומר, שלא ראו בסבר פנים יפות פני חברו, גם שהוא אחים במעשים רעים, מכל מקום שנאו זה את זה. Anyway, returning to the חושך, what does it mean, מכת החושך? They couldn't see the good in each other, and they thought the same way that I am wicked, also he is wicked. And that's the reason they start hating each other, ולא קמו איש מתחתיו, they didn't elevate themselves from their own place, למדו הרע ולא קמו ממדרגתן 3 ימים. For 3 days. ואז נעשה טבע. After 3 days, it becomes your nature. So we have this general rule that something that you repeat 3 times, it becomes your nature. So these 3 days, that's what's made them, it becomes your nature, כמו שאמרתי בפסוק, וילכו 3 ימים בלא מים, ושוב לא יכלו 3 ימים רק, כי מרים הם וכולי, אין מקום אחר. Okay, yeah, it's very hard to understand all the hints, but the idea is quite clear. You will not be able to see your friends if you don't first elevate yourself in the meaning that you educate yourself to be able to see the good in other people. So this is like a lesson that you can learn from Makat HaChoshech, and this is a block that they have on their own eyes. They were not able to see the other people. Yeah, another explanation.
So who's that last source?
This is Tzafnat Pa'aneach. I'm not sure who is the rabbi that wrote it. It's a Hasidic book. So maybe I will explain that in Sefaria, you can you have the verses, right? You know Sephai as a website, and then you can look at in the side. You can see translations. There are many translations to English, and then there are sources from the Midrash, Mefarshim, and then there is section that says Kabbalah, and there is section that says Chasidut, and there is a collection of many books of Chasidut. So I'm taking from there usually. So I know it's Chasidut. I don't know who is it exactly. I see myself. Yeah. Okay.
This is like a famous Gemara. I don't know what the source is, but when like two people go down the chimney, you know, like they go down the chimney and who goes to wash their face because the chimney is full of soot.
Ah, no, I
You
don't
So
know
the
this.
one who has a clean face, is the one who goes to wash his face because he sees the other guy
Ah,
is covered with soot, so he thinks he's like that, and he goes to wash his face. But really, this one should be washing his face.
no, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know what the source. It's
I don't know this story. Yeah, but it's
even this one. Yeah, I don't know. Story.